Hey up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today on the channel I'll be doing another Football League ground, talking about the history of that ground. Recently I did Bloomfield Road, the home ground of Blackpool, and today the ground I'm going to be talking about is Blundell Park, the home ground of Grimsby Town. So we're going to be talking about the history of that ground, some of the moments that have happened there, some records. But anyway, let's crack on with the video. Grimsby Town were founded in 1878 as Grimsby Pelham. The following year they renamed themselves to be Grimsby Town. Prior to playing at Blundell Park, the club played at a few grounds, the first one being Clee Park. Then they played at Lovett Street. Then in 1880 they went back to Clee Park, where they remained for 9 years. And then between 1889 to 1899 they played at Abbey Park. The building of Blundell Park took approximately 2 years. Construction started in 1897 and was finished in 1899. After leaving the Abbey Park ground, Grimsby Town moved both of their stands from the ground to Blundell Park, that being the Abbey Park and Hazel Grove stands. Blundell Park is not named after a road or a street, but in fact a person by the name of Peter Blundell. The opening match at Blundell Park was played against Luton Town on the 2nd of September 1899 in a Football League 2nd Division game, with 4,000 spectators seeing the match finish 3 goals apiece. In the early 1900s, the first work at the ground started with a new main stand being constructed on the northern side of the ground. In 1925, the Abbey Park stand, which was brought over from the other ground, was demolished, and in its place was built the Barrett stand. In 1939, the other original stand, the Hazel Grove stand, was demolished and replaced by the Osmond stand. In 1953, floodlights were installed at the ground, and in 1958 they purchased second-hand floodlights from Wolverhampton Wanderers and installed them around the time of 1960 at a cost of £9,000, which was raised by the supporters club. It was also around this time that the pontoon stand, which was been in place at the ground for over 60 years, was replaced by a new stand with exactly the same name. In 1980, the main stand, which had stood for over 6 decades, was demolished and replaced by a new 2-tiered stand. Due to the Taylor Report being released in the early 1990s, Blundell Park was made an all-seater stadium by the time 1995 rolled around. The club introduced temporary seating in partings between the pontoon and main stands, and also between the Osmond and Findus stands. It wasn't until 2015 when Grimsby Town did any further work on the stadium, which was in part due to a £19,000 grant from the Football Stadium Improvement Fund, which enabled the club to carry out repairs and maintenance work to the floodlights at Blundell Park. The 4 stands at Blundell Park are the Young stand, which was originally in its place 2 previous stands, as I mentioned earlier. This current stand was built in 1982 and was known as the Findus stand originally. In 2016/2017, a new sponsorship deal with Young Seafood was announced, with the tiers being renamed to the Upper Youngs and Lower Young stands. There is also the pontoon stand. The original one was demolished in the early 1960s and replaced with the one that you see currently. There is the main stand opposite the Young stand on the north side of the ground. Now, it is claimed that it is the oldest main stand in the Football League. It was constructed in 1901, and a few websites have suggested that this is the case. And lastly, there is the Osmond stand, which replaced the Hazel Grove stand. This was built in 1939 and it's one of the oldest sections of the ground. There has been talk in the past of Grimsby Town leaving Blundell Park, with such sites being in Great Courts, Peaks Parkway and Freeman Street / the Grimsby Fish Dock. As of the recording of this video though, in 2024, there's no concrete plans for the club to relocate from Blundell Park. Now, looking at some records, the highest ever attendance at Blundell Park was 31,651, for an FA Cup 5th round match on the 20th of February 1937 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The highest recorded attendance at the stadium since it's been all-seater was 9,528 for a championship game against Sunderland on the 13th of March 1999. And also their biggest ever home win at Blundell Park was on the 4th of September 1925 against Tranmere Rovers. They won that game 8-0. So that is my video on Blundell Park, the home ground of Grimsby Town for well over 120 years. I hope you enjoyed this video. Grimsby Town currently play in League 2 and the capacity of the stadium currently is 9,546. To the viewers out there, if you have been to Blundell Park, I'd be interested to know your stories and I respond to every comment. Thanks to everyone that's recently tuned into the videos and has been supporting the channel. We're getting close to nearly 2,300 subscribers and hopefully get to 2,500 soon. I post regularly on Instagram and Facebook as well. If you've got them pages, go and check that out. But anyways, this has been History of Football and I will catch us all later in the next video. Alright, ta-ra for now.